part of our curriculum for this next year, start thinking about our standards and looking at them in a time frame. Is that still our goal for today?
Yes.
Everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we said we wanted to work for the language arts curriculum. Is that what we're going to do, or are we going to work from math or
Language arts is good.
Okay. So so let's set that for our goal, that by the end of the 40 minutes we get as far as long as we can, at least maybe with one or two strands of the language arts curriculum. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So do all of you have access to the standards? Okay, so I'm going to handwrite this with pencil, and we can use Post-it notes. There's two ways we can do this that I like to do it. Now, some people would cut that document up and then just put them on the map, wherever they want to put them on there. But I'm going to use Post-it notes today versus cutting this document up. So let's start with thinking about one particular strand of it, like writing or reading. And so I would like for you to take just a few minutes to find those standards, and everybody begin to look at what you think those standards really mean. And I know you have already gone through peeling back and analyzing and worked on a conceptual level, but just take some quiet moments to really think about these standards. Do you want to move over here so you can see them, and I'll move over there. Now, okay. Moved on those out of the picture.
All right, do you want to focus on
Let's
writing?
just focus on writing. How's that?
Okay.
And we're working on 7th grade.
Oh,
What are we
I
this
didn't have
is
kindergarten through
she had,
fifth.
yeah.
5th grade then.
Elementary.
How's that?
Okay.
Okay, 5th grade.
So are we trying to find standards that we think go together?
Yes. Well, now remember, we've already done that work
Yeah.
because, okay, we've been peeled back all those standards that we thought were challenging to us, and then we spent a lot of time really analyzing them and knowing what's connected. So right now, let's try to, review what we did and pull out those standards that we think are really coherent. And maybe just take a post-it note and write the number of that standard down, or a couple of descriptors so we know which one. So let's clump them in a way that makes sense. We'll do the writing first, and then we'll try to connect it to the reading. How's that?
Where do we start with writing for 5th grade? Right here.
So how many are there in writing? I don't know, but do you mind unstapling them? Because it might be better if we lay them out.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so now, there you go. And we can kind of side by side.
This is 3. Is this the same strand? Now, do you want indicate? You just want strands, right?
I just want these big standards right now.
Oh,
You know what we're
okay.
going to pull across the map are these indicators. How's that?
Okay, here's the writing process.
Okay.
4, 3. Is there a 5?
There's a 6.
We don't want the conventions, right? So we'll skip
Oh,
that.
is that the one? Okay.
There's 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Is
we've got
convention 6? Or convention 6?
Yes.
Okay. But
Okay.
you don't
We're
consider
gonna
that
put
part
those,
of
we'll
writing?
put those,
Speaking
oh
of
yeah, we'll put
this,
those
You'll
in
bundle
there.
those together
Those
with
can
Yeah,
writing.
we'll put
are-
those.
Yeah,
Well,
so
don't you think?
there's 6.
Okay,
Right.
but we're gonna make a
Yeah.
decision about where they go, how's that?
Okay.
So let's talk about the writing process itself. What standard is that? Is it one of the standards or does it roll through all of it?
Everything that starts with 4, our standard 4 writing process.
Uh-huh.
Apply the writing process to.
Okay, and it has a bunch of different things,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So, is that a standard? Where do you start that standard in your year? Now, everybody, we're having to make it up. You're all different grade levels. So
Okay.
just come on. Where
It
do
should be
you
at
start?
the- I think
The
it's
writing
at the
process,
beginning.
very beginning.
At
Yeah.
the very beginning. And
Yeah.
what part of the writing process at the very beginning?
Brainstorming.
Okay.
Pre-writing.
And what's the
Pre-writing.
number
Pre-writing skills.
of it? 5 point.
5W4.
Now, when I do this with team, I don't let them abbreviate like I'm doing right now because I'm just handwriting this, but I have you put one on Post-it, and you put some on a Post-it, and we use the full words. Why?
To avoid any misunderstandings.
Yes, to avoid any misunderstandings, or sometimes to abbreviate it so much we don't even know exactly, like I put the writing process.
Watering it
well,
down
what?
too much.
Yeah, watering it down, I'm not getting enough rigor into it, so I really want the whole words. So what you were telling me is right at the beginning of the year, I'm gonna start with maybe brainstorming ideas. What else? It's right off the words here.
Generating a draft,
Okay,
Well,
or is that
right, she says right up
oh,
here.
this. Right off the words that are on the,
Well, would it be, so is this more general than
I'm sorry, I
that? Ask
didn't
your
hear you.
question again. What did
Okay,
you say?
so I'm starting this year with the writing process. My goal is by the end of the year, what does the standard say? Kids use the writing process
To
for what?
produce coherent and legible documents by planning, drafting, revising, editing, and collaborating with others.
That's my goal, right? That's my last end of the year goal. I'm gonna assess that, right? That whole thing I'm writing out here at the end of the year, but you haven't told me about time frames yet, but I'm gonna come back to it. That's my ultimate goal. Where am I gonna start? I'm doing this all year, right? I'm not gonna start at the second quarter or the third quarter. I'm gonna start, is that correct?
Right.
Start the whole year, and what I'm pulling off, and somebody's gonna check it off there, I'm pulling off generating a draft and brainstorming. Are there other things that I would pull off? These are 5th graders.
organizing ideas
Okay.
relevant to topic.
Organizing ideas. And what was the rest of that? I'm sorry.
Revise to,
Organizing ideas and
relevant to topic.
relevant to the topic.
Yes.
So I'm going to maybe begin to look at not just the organization of it, but how they select details or how they make sure they stay on topic all the way through their writing, right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know how detailed.
Okay, where does this standard, okay, are you working off 4 quarters? It's easier for us right now, but you don't have to. Are you gonna work off 4 quarters of the year?
I would
Okay.
imagine, yeah.
You don't have to, by the way. You can say, this is just 3 weeks. But now the next, here will be my first quarter. I'm going to do this for 3 weeks, but I'm not gonna do this for a whole quarter. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Well, so where would I go next? Remember that connection and that coherence. Where am I gonna go? This is first quarter. We'll come back and make some judgments about this. This is second.
Somehow or another. Can we look at different ones?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so here's what I'm thinking. We want them to write routinely over time for a wide range of purposes.
Okay. So that, again, is out here. We want them to write routinely for a variety of purposes.
Write
Where does that
effectively.
start?
Well, that whole strand is write effectively for a variety of tasks, purposes, and audiences. Right?
Right.
So
So maybe you're
that's-
working on beginning, middle, and ends as you spiral through. I'm thinking calendar-wise, maybe not school year-wise, but you want to spiral through the different introductions, the different body
then, like,
paragraphs,
you
the
would
different
do
kinds of conclusions.
Right.
How are you going to tag the
You
reader
know what I mean? Like once
Exactly.
they
This
of
is
your
the
writing?
8.1.
You know,
Where's
your
the-
brainstorming could take 2 to 3 weeks depending on the different types of brainstorming ideas you do.
Exactly.
And then you're picking those rough drafts, and you're creating several rough drafts that by
Right.
the end of each 9 weeks, you have a final draft that you're gonna submit to. So to break that down as a school year,
Right. So when you say routinely for a
a
variety of
calendar
task
now.
purposes
Yeah.
and audiences,
semester.
And
so
I
we've
saw
got to
what
break
she
down
was
task
saying.
purposes and audiences, just
Mm-hmm.
like you talked about across. Now, what is the number of this standard you just read?
That is 1. That is W.1. 5W.1.
Okay, so now I
Where's
have-
the next page on that one though?
But I can bring this back now to where would I start? Remember I told you Kay has a little bit of problems with going just from here to third quarter to second quarter to first quarter. I kind of go back, I kind of get the bookends, and then I work through the middle to see, you know, begin to get, oh, well, maybe I need to go back and put more over here because we're not going fast
We were looking
enough.
for yours, because I saw it, that our pages are kind of, I think it's best, we have learned that you don't put it on both pages, both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
That when we run these off.
Well, I don't know if I'm jumping too far ahead, but like the threes, then writing genres. And there's several different genres. So would we do, you know, each quarter after we've established the writing process for quarter 1?
I
then
would do genres, all the genres in each quarter, that way there's no confusion. I wouldn't make it quarter specific.
And this is a great conversation to have, like, okay, with fifth grade students, you might have to break down the genres and focus on it a while. For middle school and high school, you should not have to do that. That gets back to, I should know those by fifth grade. I don't have to do that. I can choose the genre when I'm in middle school and high school and I want to, and an audience. Does that sound right to you? Okay, so it's back of accelerating and rigorous writing for our students. But, okay, so I want to go back to this. I don't want to hop around too many standards. I want to stay on these two until we kind of get a pathway across, okay?
I think what we need to do, since we're introducing coherent writing, I think we need to break it down and making sure that the components of that writing are all there.
In the
So,
first quarter?
Yes, we need to start with that, making sure that, and then, and again, I agree with you, incorporating that into different kinds of writing, so that would hit for the variety of tasks. So we are going to be working on W.1 in the first one. But I can't find that standard,
And I think
or I can't find that indicator.
W1.
Well, no, there's one that breaks it down into.
And
By
the
the
writing-
writing process, that one?
are you talking about the components of
Oh,
a
I
piece
guess
of
I might
writing,
have
or are you
been
talking
looking.
about the writing process?
I'm going back to the writing process,
Okay.
but where, there's gotta be something else for 1. Is that the only one for point 1? I can't. So much easier to work with your own standards.
Yeah, so much
Well, and it's hard, like,
Yeah, and it's probably,
we know that we don't all have the same.
right, yeah.
materials here, so. I just grabbed this, I thought, well, this might be helpful.
This is,
for
okay,
nowadays.
because writing is something we
Glad
all
you
do.
grabbed it.
We're in a good place. We're in a good place. Okay, so what were you wanting to add to this?
The parts of a, the beginning, having a good beginning, middle, and end.
Oh, okay.
The parts,
The structure of the
components,
components
Thank
of
you.
it. Okay, so the organization and structure, is that part of 5W4? The writing
Use
process,
an
the structure?
organizational structure to group related
Right there it
ideas.
is. 3, that's
Yes.
3.1.
That
That's
is-
3,
That's 3.
W.3.
Okay, so we really have
Yeah, there
two
you
big
go.
standards starting, and the concept we wrote the other day when we were analyzing these standards is that the structure is determined by the author's